All right. Parashat Parasha of Idan's birthday, and this year is dedicated to, first of all, Refuah Shlema of Shachaf Bat Milach, Avraham ben Elisheva Penina, Chaim ben, what is this? Chaim ben Chai Miriam, Yosef Yoshua ben Freemet.
Yeah, Freemet.
And also to Refuah, to Matir Asurim, for Meir Eliezer ben Gittel Esther Chava. All right. So this parasha, Parashat Re'eh, and this parasha, the name of the parasha, connects us to the concept of seeing, of eyes, and according to Kabbalah, they represent the sfera of Chokhmah. Take some chulet. And this sfera is related to what we call or attributed to raw energy, the first initial raw energy, what we call Or de Chokhmah, the light of Chokhmah. And we're talking about a very strong and powerful energy that really is going to engulf us throughout the whole entire week. See here, take chulet. The parasha starts with the words, see that today I'm giving in front of you a blessing and a curse. And regarding this statement, there is a wonderful explanation of the Ohev Israel, the rabbi from Opt, and he explains that when we are born, many things are being determined ahead of the time. Besides all the things that are associated with your free choice. In other words, you're going to be tall, you're going to be, blue eyes, all the other things, there's a lot of things, but anything that you have a choice is not being determined. And for example, if a person is going to be a righteous man or is going to be a wicked man, that's your choice. And every morning we get up in the morning with feelings and emotions that allows us to make this choice, to define, to choose between blessing and a curse, and that is in a way the true essence of our life, to be able to see things and then to determine between a blessing and a... It's not changing the world, it's just changing the way you look at things. And that's very important. The Ohev Israel adds and is being particular based on the word noten. Noten, which is nun, taf nun, which call it palindrome. We can read it from both ways the same way. That the Kadosh Baruch Hu his one purpose is to do good with his creations, and his influence on the world is always good. And therefore, therefore the bracha or the klala is basically saying, in other words, the way in which we relate to reality. The way we look at things, the way we relate to reality, and that is absolutely in our control, and we are the one who determine how the reality, how our life would be. Anybody there from Brazil to say hello to us? Who's it? Trina?
Rodolfo Rodriguez.
Rodolfo Rodriguez, and all the other friends. Good to see you guys. Thanks.
Is there a link?
So the Ohev Israel calls this kind of a concept emet v'sheker, truth and false, or truth and lie. In other words, that's the way in which we related and we responded to different situations in our lives, right? That's the reality, in a truthful way or in a false way. The false way, the sheker, would be all our involvement and the way we are occupied all the time with those little nitty-gritty of life that are not, there are some things that are important, but the things that are not important. For example, what today everybody is involved with. Who said what, why he said, to whom he says, when he says, but what do I care who said what? I don't really care, right? So dealing with this is false. To be angry, to be an angry person, to give up, to feel miserable. That's a false way to look at life. That's not the real way, because you have the choice to change things. The truth happens when we are able to enter into these situations that we call darkness or difficult. We're able to put light into the situations. That's the truth. And that is hinted to us in the story of creation. The HaKadosh Baruch Hu made darkness and light, and we need to bring the light into this world. Just like God did, that's what we're supposed to do. In that fashion, in that matter, we in a way imitating God. In dark places, we need to put light in. And that's what we need to do. And in a way, this is somewhat of a purpose of our life. We have to be focused all the time in our thoughts, in our actions, in that concept of truth, on bringing on light, making things better, being positive, and so on and so forth, because we are the vessel in which this light comes to this world. We carry the light inside of us. We are the torch, we carry the light, and is within us all the time, and therefore we need to bring it up. So when you feel miserable and give up and so on and so forth, you feel a false feeling. Because the truth of the matter is, you have the ability to change it at any given moment. You were given a free choice. When the Torah tells us, see that I'm giving in front of you, I'm posing in front of you a blessing and a curse, the Torah focuses and places the ability to choose as the focal point of your life all the time. Now, it doesn't make a difference if it's the Gra, the Gaon Mivilna, or Maimonides, or even the prophets. A choice is represented as a force, a power that man has the ability to change every word that he has and every action that he does to a destiny, to a goral, to a destiny. You can change reality by your words and by your actions. And this is what you do. For example, let's say, for example, many kids experience this, and I'm going to focus that because recently it's like really, I'm exposed so much to this reality. At home, let's say for example you have a kid that feels pain or feels rejected. It happens many times. The question is, how are we going to act upon it? What is it that we are doing at home? Are we going to create a reality of a blessing, or are we going to engrave or burn inside of him the concept of a curse of a klala? Are we going to magnify this feeling, and by doing so, basically branding him for life with that feeling? So, if you're going to tell the kid, for example, you are amazing. Listen, I'm so proud of you. You are the light of my life. I'm so proud of you, right? He's going to believe that. And he's going to act according to that statement that came out of your mouth. Because now you're creating a reality of importance to him, that he's the light of your life, and he's going to live up to that. Okay? But if you're going to tell your child, you're terrible, I can't stand you, you're stupid, you're bad, you're wicked, you're inconsiderate, and so on and so forth, you are creating also a situation, but you should know that is going to be branded in him much deeper. Much deeper. There was a guy by the name of Roy Baumeister, right? He did a research and he showed that offensive statement that you give as a parent to a child are engraved and remembered much further than compliments that you give your child. So you got to be very careful with what you tell your kid. You got to be so careful. There's some people who never tell the kid the word, I am proud of you. Never. I know people like this myself. Never heard the word, I'm proud of you. You did so well. Always like let's say you get 90 on a test, right? What's the first question? What happened to the other 10 points? What do you mean? You said 90, terrific, I'm so proud of you. What happened to the other? Why not 100? Right? That is a terrible thing that creates an attitude of negativity into the child, and that will be engraved, and that would shape who this child is to the rest of his life. To the rest of his life, he's going to be this bitter person that feels unaccomplished, and whatever. He's going to turn out to be a potential criminal, let me put it this way. Because, why am I saying a potential criminal? Because he's going to hook up with those guys who are going to tell him, oh man, you are such a good, such a swift, shoplifter. Man, you're really good. And he's going to hook up with them. Because he needs that attention. He needs that positive thing. But you created that. As a parent, you're the one who created that. Excuse me. So the Gra in the book Aderet Eliyahu really refers to the difference between a blessing in which you're going to hear to a curse if you are not going to hear it. There's a big difference, He says that the difference comes from the will, the ability to turn the bracha, the blessing, into an obligation. Because it says asher, which really is which you're going to choose. There's going to be life in it, right? You're going to choose life, that there is a blessing in it. Regarding the klala, the curse, when it says im, when it comes to a klala, use the word im. In other words, you use the word if. Can you put the AC on? So to remind us, really, the space that you have, the ability to choose what will happen if you're going to choose this, and what will happen if you choose that, and better you don't choose the worst kind or the bad side. The Rambam writes that a person has any ability to direct himself to a good way, to become a righteous person, and if he wants, as the Rambam says, to really lean himself towards the bad way and to be a wicked person. And that the Rambam talks about this Halachot Shuvah in Perek Hey. Fundamental point in Judaism to understand the concept of a free choice. The Rambam understood that the man's kind or ability to choose is absolute. I mean, it's 100%. You can choose and you can determine the reality. That's what the Rambam believes. And nobody is forcing you to do this, or nobody is forcing you to do that. And don't believe what some ignorant people are saying, right? You call them, basically, the Rambam calls them fools, that this is how you were born and therefore there is no free choice. You are an absolute fool to think that. Everybody has a free choice, as the Rambam writes, to become a tzaddik or rasha, chas v'shalom, like Yerovam. It's, what do you want to be? It's up to you. People don't like to hear that. People like to blame everybody. But at the end of the day, it's all about you. It's all what you decide to do. So the Mekubalim explained to us there are two different types of light. There is an Or Yashar, a direct light, and there is a reflective light, right? And the direct light is the one that the light that comes directly from its source, directly from the source of the light, and it's also called Or de Chokhmah, the light of Chokhmah, of wisdom. Or the Chokhmah, as we said before, is a very concentrated raw energy that has in a way the ability to burn and to engrave. Even though that this light is also called light, right? And the light of life and so on and so forth. The only way to receive upon yourself the light of Chokhmah and to hold on to it is to know that it's not yours. It was not yours to giving, and everything that we have is because what we give others, not what we acquire for ourselves. If you want to receive that light of Chokhmah, that light that you will be able to so-called see from one end to the world to the other, you have to learn how to start giving from yourself to others and look more to give than actually to receive. And when we do that, when we change the direction from the will to receive only to the will of receiving in order to give, what happens here, we are changing the light, and we make it a reflective light, and this reflective light can reflect into others, and this is how we make a difference in our life. You cannot make this world into a better place if you don't learn to share and give and care for others. And we're always in a state that it's going to consume us. Even if we are wealthy in a wealthy society and so on and so forth, if we don't teach ourselves to give to others, it's okay to have. It's not a socialist system here. And it's not this new, politically incorrect kind of a thing that, whatever yours is mine and whatever mine is mine. Punish the rich and that doesn't work like that. It means you're allowed to have, but also understand that it's not yours and you should be sharing. Do something positive with it, because just to collect all this stuff is just pointless. So when our actions are really accompanied by the intent of doing hashpa'ah, of influencing, of making things better, and so on and so forth, helping other people, then the thought, the initial thought of creation takes into place. And what's the initial thought of creation that takes into place? That HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to be meitiv labruim. He wanted to make this world into a better place for its creations to exist. So this is what allows us to connect to a great light and to continue receiving all the time. In other words, our level of selfishness determine how much abundance we're going to get from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and that is determined if it's a bracha or a klala as well. You can have a lot. We are in a society that we have a lot, more food and more clothing than ever before. But look, with all the abundance of food that we have, we are not healthy because it's all about ourselves. We don't care about somebody else. We don't care. So whatever you eat, there's no bracha in it. The bracha only comes when you're willing to, when you recognize it's a bracha and you're willing to share it. The blessing comes when you recognize that it's a blessing and because you are willing to share the good with other people. Because if you're not willing to share, if you are selfish and you're not willing to share, the same item turns into a curse because you're eating basically empty food. You're working and you're working hard and there's no blessing in your money. You can make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, but there's no blessing in that. Why? Because it is all about you. Because you want to buy a $75,000 car while your friend is walking, up and down the boulevard because he can't afford this. So don't buy him a car, but buy him, crank it out, get him a raincoat, and buy him a pair of shoes. Feel his pain. Then you wonder why your car is being stolen, is being broken, is being and on and on and on. Because you're not willing to share. You don't care. So selfishness brings a tremendous definition to what a curse is all about. You have a lot, but it's worth absolutely nothing. The reality of our life is very subjective, and this duality in its life, right, is really to keep us on check all the time, to determine, to examine what is a curse and what is a blessing. Now, the question is, why do we always choose? Seems like we're choosing wrong. If I'm going to come to any of you, I'm going to tell you, listen, there are two doors. There are two doors. One door, you open it up, it looks like Iceland on steroids. Waterfalls, green meadows all over, right? How is it over there, right? Nice? Amazing, huh? I'll tell you something, Israel is nicer. But never mind. You know what I'm saying. It looks like heaven and nice, the temperature, 75 degrees with 30% humidity, shining, beautiful, and so on and so forth. You're saying the thing, but you have to walk down. The other one, it's an open pit. It's about 150 meters down. And I'll tell you, listen, which door are you going to go? What do you mean I'm going to go? You will take the easy way up to the meadows over there and look all nice. But somebody in your back of your head tells you, this is boring. This is boring. Jump from the cliff. It's beautiful. I don't have a parachute. It's okay. It's interesting. It's fun. And this is how we make the decision. We let other people determine to us what is good and what is bad. Most of the time, they don't really care about our lives or ourselves. We make the wrong decision, and before you know, you're flying. You think it's fun to fly from 150 feet up in the air down to the rocks, but 2 feet after, you just realize that you made a huge mistake, but there's no way to correct it. And this is exactly what we do. We know what's right. We know what's good. We know what's good, we know what's bad, and we keep on choosing the bad because we don't allow ourselves to determine based on the Torah. We let other people determine, and that's exactly what happens. That's exactly what happens. Moshe talks to us, to Am Yisrael, and tells us that the decision to walk in the path of God is a decision between a curse and a blessing, a decision between life and death. If you go against the way of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you are basically going to a path that would lead you to a curse. It might look fun. It might look cool. It might look seductive. But it's a dead end. It's a dead end. Moshe is telling you that. Choose the way of God. Choose the way of God. The problem is, it's not It's not if this is good. Like for example, now there's a beautiful birthday cake over done. Is it, eating the cake is a good thing or is it a bad thing? Well, it depends how much you eat it, right? Do you have eyes to see? And that's what the Torah tells us. Re'eh, look. I'm telling you, look at what's going on. Can you examine what's going on here? It doesn't say persuade yourself. It says re'eh, examine with your eyes. Examine with your eyes. And in order to examine in your eyes, you need to do what? You need to open your eyes. You need to open your eyes and determine if what I'm doing is the right thing or it's not the right thing. Everybody understands how difficult it is, how dangerous it is to drive fast. Everybody understands. However, aren't we all somewhere or another very easy about driving and so on and so forth? We don't pay attention to driving, being careful, not only just about ourselves, about the people around us, not only those in the car, other just strangers that drive in the street. If we go at like 125 miles an hour, listen, with all due respect, you're not Mario Andretti. You can't even handle a car at 20 miles an hour. The fact that you can step on the pedal doesn't mean you know how to drive. And yet, there's so many things that are not in your control. You know how many Formula One drivers have crushed and they are superior drivers? They just died. So and why is that? Because there are a lot of things that are not in your control. And we all know it's dangerous. We all know we shouldn't be doing this. We all know we should not drink alcohol. We all know we should not be doing drugs. And yet somehow we always end up doing this. Why? Because we forget that we need to correspond ourselves towards God and align ourselves with His way. Whatever HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells us. And that's what Moshe Rabbeinu is trying to give this message to Am Yisrael. That in all generations, throughout all the generations, the first word in the Parashat comes about to Re'eh, look. We don't need to invent things that are already here. We already know that. We don't need to make a new chidush, a new concept when it's already said like a million times. All you gotta do is something very simple. You gotta open your eyes. You gotta open your eyes to examine the world according to the reality that HaKadosh Baruch Hu had wanted us to do, and that reality is to be able to always determine between good, between bad, and always choose the good without self-persuasion. Yes, I know that eating too much is not good, but I'm really hungry. By the way, it's really free. That's always a good one. It's especially when somebody buys. Hey guys, you want very expensive sushi? Oh yes, I do. Who's paying? I'm paying. Oh yeah, not a problem. But you just ate. It's okay. The doctor said you're not allowed to eat fish. It's okay. Aren't you allergic to fish? It's okay. We do this all the time. We know which friends are good for us. We know which friends are bad for us. We know, and this is why it's so important, Rabotai, to be among people who share the same core values as we do. The same building blocks that we want to build our house, which is Torah, Derech Hashem, and so on and so forth. If your friends are not doing that, Habibi, you're basically on a ship and everybody not only has a drill to make a hole there, they have a jackhammer. They're going with jack. This is very important. You need to have support system that would tell you, listen, stop playing with the Instagram. Why don't you come and learn Gemara with us? No, I can't. I don't know. It's okay. I'll help you. You need to have the society, the environment that would support you in this journey, because you cannot make it alone, and you are very susceptible to what society will tell you. When you raise your kids, you cannot get information from some, the TV show. It doesn't, from Simpsons. It doesn't work like that. Because before you know, you look like Al Bundy. I don't know, whatever, if you guys know who it is. You don't know Al Bundy? I don't even know the name of the name. I don't even know the name of the TV show. It was like TV somewhere. Show? Yeah, Married with Children. Married with Children. You see, he knows. He knows. Yeah. That's that. You wanna have life like Al Bundy?
Shoe salesman.
He knows everything. You need to have a society that supports you. You need to have friends that are interested in the same thing that you do, to be able to. There's going to be whatever it is, but whatever it is neutral. The world is neutral. How you interpret, how you choose to interact depends on you. If I see a cake, the cake is good, it is bad, the cake is nothing. The cake is a cake. There's no such thing as a bad cake. There's a cake. What determines bad or good is not an object or an item that doesn't have a choice. It is us that choose if it's good or bad. And for example, you might eat meat and it's going to be good for you, and I might eat meat and it's going to be bad for me. We're different. We have the ability to choose it. I can choose for myself and you can choose for yourself. And we have to respect one another's choices. I don't always have to agree with your opinions, but I have to respect your free choice, and so are you. But if we are a society that doesn't respect one another, that society is built on selfishness, a society that does not want to allow the light to come out. This is the society in which we're living in today. We say that we want to have a better world. We say that we want to have what's good for the people, but the truth of the matter is that we are trying to do just the opposite of that. It's like those friends that tell you they are the best friends as long as you drive the car, you get the tickets from the cop because you were speeding. And why you were speeding? Because you don't have a backbone, and your friends will tell you, go a little faster, it's a cool car, go faster. And you go faster, and before you know, the police go, woo, pulls you to the side, you get a ticket. These are friends. If you have friends like this, you should throw them out of the window the first chance you have. You put them throw them in a ditch and just move on yourself. Never see those friends again, ever again. If you have friends that tell you, you know what, let's smoke something, or let's do some drugs, let's get excited with some ecstasy. These are not friends, throw them out. If your friend tells you the next day, let's steal something, and you get caught, right? For whatever reason, it's always you're going to get caught, they're going to go free. These are friends. With friends like this, who needs enemies? You need somebody to be able to help you bring the light out. We are here excavating light. It's not that there is darkness, because darkness it's an essence. We're bringing out the light out. We need here to simply take the diamond and bring it out. It's like you take a piece of rough diamond and it looks like nothing, and you need to polish it to make this shining, beautiful thing. That's what we need to do. And we are the masters of that. We have the manual of how to do so. So why are you going with people that don't challenge you in a positive way? Instead of telling you, listen, go 100 to 120 miles an hour, why don't your friend tell you, listen, you know what, I challenge you, you and I will sit down here, we'll finish Masechet Sanhedrin, let's see who will break first. That's a challenge, that's a friend. But most of what your friends are not friends. So that's what you need to do. Don't tell me karma. I don't want to hear the word karma. Karma is a loser concept. Karma is a loser concept. That's a karma. That's my destiny. That's my mazal. That's my goral. That's my nonsense. I have the ability to change. The reason why I'm not like this is because of my color skin. I'm too light, I'm too dark, my eyes are green, my eyes are brown, my hair is curly, my hair is freezing, my hair is straight. That's nonsense. You have the ability in any given moment to change. You don't like it here, go somewhere else. Make yourself happen there. Reinvent yourself. But that's what I'm saying to you. Those words, karma, destiny, luck, and so on and so forth, these are losers' mentality, loser concepts. Don't blame anybody. That's also, there's a person who blames everyone. He blames his mother, blames his father, blames his Rebbe, blames everybody. He always going to have somebody to blame. There's a person who needs to have a villain in his life. A guy like this is a loser. A loser. You don't like it, change it. Shut up and do something. Move on, do something. Get up. Nobody's putting a gun to your head. Learn how to do things. Snap out of the situation. Stop looking at problems. Start looking at negativity. Start finding solutions. Start finding solutions for everything. Somebody has a problem, you find a solution. Why you find a solution? To get a medal? No. But you find solution, you bring in light. A person is confused. He's dazed and confused. He doesn't know. Here you come in, you turn the light on. Oh, wow. That's what I'm talking about. We have the ability to create a better reality for ourselves and for others. And we can only do so if we have friends to walk. He said, "Arei noten lifnechem," in front of you. Noten lefanecha, lifnechem, in front of you. We could all do this, and we're all in this together. And in terms of negativity and negative people, eradicate what is bad from your camp. That's it. So listen, Habibi, if you're going to continue talking negative, just do me a favor. On my birthday, buy me earplugs. I can't take this anymore. I don't want to hear negativity. I don't want to hear complaining. Why are you complaining? Change it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, God believes in us. He would wait for us until our last breath to say, God, I'm sorry. In other words, God understands and believes in the fact of change. Any person can change at any given moment if he chooses to. If he chooses to. And that's why he tells us, see. You need to see. It's all good. For HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it's only good. How you interpret that, that's already you, and you create the reality. When you tell me mazal, you create your mazal. When you tell me it's karma, you create it. It's not like this. It is what it is, but you create it. You defined it by giving it a name. Just like Adam HaRishon gave names to all creations, God did not give names to a horse. He didn't call it a horse. This is a horse, this is a cow, no. Mankind gave it. That's a hint to us that we defined reality. Adam could have called a horse a tree and a tree a cow, but he gave him those names. In other words, we define the reality with what we call it to be. So let's try from now on, try to make it good. Let's stop with the negative news. Let's stop with negative news. Let's start to find something good that happened today. And if you can't stay away from that, just simply turn off the news. Stop listening to news. Don't go, if you want to do, I don't know, if you, let's say you're obsessed with Instagram, so I don't know, go look at Japanese gardens. I don't know, go, instead of doing, what happened in the West Bank, go look in Gaza, go look what happens, how to do overlanding. I don't know, whatever it is, go become a cowboy. Or simply just don't look at it. Disconnect your phone. I'm going to tell you the following. When a telephone had a cable to it, was attached to a cable, a man was free. Today it's wireless, you become a prisoner. It's about time we stop with this. Choose life. Put some meaning in your life. Give yourself some goals. Try to reach these goals. And goals, it's not to have a lot of money. That's not a goal. Because you're never going to reach it and you're going to get frustrated. If you're going to look at your screen time that you have on your telephone, how much time you spend on Instagram, Facebook, and all the other choleras, you would see that if you take the same amount of time, you could be an expert in whatever it is that unfortunately you'll never be. Most people are expert in absolutely nothing throughout their lives. Look how much time, since you got your telephone, you spend on those apps. And now you say, for example, I don't know, I could have learned Chinese. I could have learned Spanish. I could have become fluent in Spanish if I put, 5,000 hours of, instead of saying, like somebody else's, what somebody else did. What somebody else did, that's exactly the negativity. It's the false. All those posts that people put in. I went here, I went there, I did this. This is all a part of the sheker, of the false reality. Then what it has to do with me? Okay, so this guy went to Bermuda. God bless you. What it has to do with me? Nothing. Nothing has to do with it. But it just puts me in a place that I feel that I'm missing something. And then I'm looking at my life, and my life doesn't look good because guess what? I didn't go to Bermuda. Okay? So I didn't go to Bermuda. I'm in the States already for 37 years. I haven't gone to the Caribbean. I drive a 2008 car. I'm very happy with it. Very happy with it. Until 120. It's what's wrong with it? Nothing. So okay, so this one got a Lamborghini. You know what? I saw Lamborghini SUV. It's like I'm not gonna drive this thing. It's like a toy. I'm not gonna drive in this thing. Happy with what I have. When you're happy with what you have, when you appreciate what you have, then you have a blessing. The blessing comes because you start to appreciate what you have. So start appreciating your spouse. Start appreciating your children. Start appreciating your house. The clothing that you wear. The clothing that you wear. People laugh at me that I have clothing that are old already. I looked at one of my karate shoes. I bought them when my kids were like 5 years old. Well, right now they're like in the 30s. I just take care of them. I appreciate it because I know God gave it to me. That's the bracha. I see the bracha. I don't look at what I don't have. I look at what I have. And thank God, I have more than I deserve. Look at what you have. Make an inventory of things that you have in your life, and you see that you have more than enough for 2 lifetimes. At any stage of your life. The amount of clothes that you have, the amount of food that is on your table, the amount of food you throw into the garbage. What you have, the places that you have gone to see in the world, nobody would have thought about it before. And you're blessed. You have a bracha. You just don't realize it because we are living in this consumer society that always concentrates on what you don't have rather than what you have. So let's stop with this. Try not to buy new clothing for a year. Let's see what happens. You know what will happen? Nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. And if you see the clothes don't fit you, well, it's about time to start doing some exercise. So Rabotai, let's concentrate on the good. Let's concentrate on the blessing. Let's appreciate what we have. And together with this is how we're going to build Beit HaMikdash. This is how we're going to bring Mashiach ben Rabbi Yameinu. Amen. Shabbat Shalom and Rosh Chodesh Tov.
Amen.